undo people with a laugh and a smile. Tao, help those around you. And do, serve and share what you have with others, whether it's your knowledge, your time, your wealth, name it. Be there of assistance. And I'm Undao Do. Undao Do. Here I am on the center of the Mayan zodiac, some 6,000 years ago. Prophesized to return to help usher in the fifth age, one built on a foundation of Bitcoin, one that comes out of smart contracts out of a blockchain, and finally, which we're entering now, the third stage, which is AI. 0202 staring out at me. Hi, 0202. Quantum AI is coming. 0202, the entanglement of 1 and 0. That's quantum. And I want to talk about what needs to be built and how capitalism and socialism are both walking dead. They're like the horse-drawn wagon that are going to be obsolete. The idea of a 18th century entity, a corporation, that has legal rights. Right now, this thing is going to court in New York, right? It doesn't exist. But we have this insane idea that our planet is infinite. Like, this rice field can feed the world, and it can never run out. Well, we both know that it does run out. Our planet isn't infinite. And ultimately, it's a finite object. And until we have a business model that treats our planet as a finite object, we're in trouble. And unfortunately, when capitalism came about as part of the early industrial revolution, it thought the planet was infinite. We could cut all the trees, we could harvest all the fish, everything was infinite. And we built this infinite business model. And socialism is no different. Okay, I'm not a proponent of socialism because socialism is also driven by the same metrics. That growth is what drives valuation. Instead of benefit to the planet, it's living systems and in sharing with others. Undao Do, right? The three things. Undao Do. Help the planet, it's living systems, sharing with others. Undao Do. Now, what do we need to bring about Undao Do? What do we need to bring about the fifth age? The age prophesied by the Mayans, driven by AI, built on Bitcoin and smart contracts from blockchains. Well, imagine this. I'm going to tell you what needs to be built. I'm not an engineer, so I'm making this video that maybe if you know someone who's a genius smart contract coder, this is what we need. We need a framework that ultimately will sequester Bitcoin and issue out a native token. Now, this Bitcoin is held kind of in an escrow on the blockchain for the benefit of this new framework, right? This new, let's call it social beneficial capitalism, right? And the token that is released under it is a native token of, or a stable coin of that token. So smart contract that will sequester. Now I want you to imagine this is no different than, an ATM machine or an app on a phone that does this. I can go into a store, or I can set my store up to accept this, and it takes all the fiat, right? It turns it into, Bitcoin, and it issues out this token that is underwritten by this finite thing. Our planet is finite. Bitcoin is finite, okay? So Bitcoin becomes a representation of our planet and everything on it. And so keep printing your fiat, because the stable token that's tied to your fiat is going to have a valuation based on the finite thing of Bitcoin. So imagine now salaries are paid out in this token, which is tied to the Bitcoin. Dividends are paid out as a result, and all this time, this Bitcoin is holding and growing in value. And it's basically moving from the network into this fund managed by this AI. So imagine that you do good. You get paid out this token. You're picking up trash on a beach. You get paid out this token. You are, helping someone do a permaculture garden or homestead. You get paid out this token. It's just automatic. AI is managing it. Imagine stores that take all their transactions, all their fiat, and turn it into Bitcoin, get stored, and they pay out a dividend to their, it could be their salary to their employees, to themselves. And this is it's a cryptocurrency, so it can be moved into any currency, any fiat, anything else, right? And you could actually use it to buy Bitcoin, right? You could actually use your token to buy Bitcoin that then puts it into the system, right? Paying you out a dividend. So as the price of Bitcoin goes up, your dividend value goes up, and that dividend is tied to the stable token. So imagine a smart contract that does that. It hoards the Bitcoin, pays out a dividend. That's all. And that's what I call a decentralized autonomous entity is simply that. Is one that basically stores a store of value, in this case is Bitcoin, takes everything out there, all this fiat crap, and turns it into Bitcoin, and then pays out a dividend. And that seems to be, if someone could write that smart contract, the next thing is to have the AI. And the AI measures the intangible benefit that what is your action has on the planet, its living systems, and sharing with others. So it has a valuation, what I call a proof of benefit, right? Of how you are benefiting the living systems and others around you. Imagine all these acres are now being bought up by these days for the benefit of the people around you. Imagine the solar farm there, right there, is not owned by a corporation, but owned by the people that's getting the utility. So whoever uses more of the utility gets more of a dividend. So the whole profit doesn't go to a few shareholders, it goes to the stakeholders. The stakeholders being the consumers of that thing, the collaborators of that thing, and the creators of that thing. Do. So ultimately, this new social beneficial capitalism, as I like to call it, built on the idea of proof of benefit, that is grounded in the idea of a finite thing that attaches itself to another finite thing, our planet, an entire new business model built up around that. That is social beneficial capitalism. And the first thing we need is a smart contract, and we need open AI to manage it and to determine the valuation of paying out a dividend in a stable token that's tied to the Bitcoin that it's holding. So how do we store the Bitcoin? How's the Bitcoin going to be used, right? How is it secure within the network so no state, no government, no individuals, can steal it? These are some of the things that I don't know the answers to, that someone smarter than me has to figure out, right? Someone who can figure out kind of the dotting the I's, crossing the T sort of thing. And when we do that, ultimately we change everything. Do.